We are going to talk today about Vega stock, PlantX, plant-based everything. Just a quick note, this is not a sponsored video, okay? I mentioned this because, well, I don't do sponsored video ever. I saw that all the videos about this company, almost all of the videos were sponsored. And I do believe that makes a difference. So this stock looks really appealing so far, and I saw a lot of YouTubers calling it the next Amazon of plant-based everything in that niche market. So I decided to take a deeper look inside of it and decide for myself whether I will buy it or not, and that is what I'm sharing with you. Since the niche plant-based everything is a big trend and will be a big trend during the years to come, every company in this niche market could be the next big thing, and of course with substantial returns for early investors. And the time is good right now. Even though the trend started several years ago, it still keeps growing, and each year it grows more than the year before. So if this is the right company, golden years are coming for investors in the years ahead. But not everything is so great about this company. In fact, I would say this company is highly controversial. There is a big if. Why? Keep watching. Hello, this is Fine Finance. My name is Alex, and I'm sharing shares. How I make money on stocks. Each week I'm sharing stocks. So as usual, before I start talking about the stock in details, I give you a high level of overview what we are going to cover in this video. So here it is. Number 1, niche business model. Number 2, fine financials or question mark. Number 3, potential growth market. Number 4, what is the main asset of this company in my opinion? Number 5, big if, red flags. And number 6, how I invest in this stock personally. Let's start. If you made it so far, don't forget to give me a high five, or in YouTube terms, just click that like button. Also, do not forget that I am not a professional analytics, whatever that means. I am just researching stocks for myself and I'm sharing it with you. I also do swing trading for myself, which so far brings more profits in the short term at least than my long-term positions. But anyway, I have both. So if you want to know how I did during last month, 110%, it was only 10 trades in 4 weeks, okay? Join our small community of investors in Discord group and in Patreon. We share all that stuff. And you will see all the trades I make with all the signals, and as well we share trade setups. Trade setups are simply the stocks that are currently for the next couple days are undervalued or at least sitting at the resistance level. So there are big chances that they will grow by another 5 to 10%, and well, you get it. If you find those stocks at least couple each week, then well, 10% that adds up, and that's how I earned 110% in the last month alone. But anyway, let's jump to the video. Business model. PlantX is positioning itself as a platform where people find a solution to a healthy life, with a plant-based lifestyle around every possible aspect of your life. In simple terms, you can say that it is an online plant-based shop, but it is done in a way that the purchase is the logical action after you spend some time to adopt a new plant-based lifestyle. So the platform spends a lot of effort to write educational content. Here's what they say about themselves. In a world with an unquenchable thirst for the ideal diet, our goal at PlantX is to educate people on the benefits of a plant-based lifestyle, eliminating the barriers of entry for everyone. A busy lifestyle usually translates to less time to shop and cook for ourselves, especially with real healthy ingredients. PlantX solves problems like this while crushing misconceptions and aiming to help you lead a longer, healthier and happier life. Learning the benefits of a plant-based lifestyle is only the beginning. As the digital face of the plant-based community, PlantX represents a one-stop shop for everything plant-based. So, to summarize, the idea is that if one day you decide to look for a reference related to plant-based food and then lifestyle, you will end up buying everything you need for it here in one place. The company offers products for multitude of different plant-based manufacturers. My question here is why we do not see big names in this area like Beyond Meat, very good food company, Tattooed Chef. For me, adding one of those would add legitimacy to the whole project. PlantX was founded in December 2019 and went public on Canadian Stock Exchange in August 2020. I see that all marketing efforts started around that time. I must say that it is very well done. The whole internet social marketing strategy, content for it, and how it is done. It still has a very small number of followers at the time of recording of this video, but I guess it is only a matter of time. I do believe if they continue this effort, the same way we will see the community grows pretty fast. I will not go into the details of the e-commerce part. I would say it is nicely done. Good design, user experience when buying a product is good enough. Being a web developer, I always check which platform is used by e-commerce companies. In this case, PlantX is built on WordPress with an e-commerce plugin WooCommerce. This is a pretty good solution in my opinion. For sure cost effective and it does the job. Not sure how it will fit the long term though. And the issue with WordPress is that it has a lot of plugins which have a flaw in security, and also WordPress is the big target for hackers since it's used a lot in the world of internet. In fact, it's #1 platform for any different kind of websites out there. This is why big e-commerce companies usually build their own frameworks or at least use more specialized frameworks. Again, this is just my opinion from what I saw during my 10 years of web developer career. Number 2, fine financials. I did put a question mark here, yes. So far there is not much to say about it. Here are some numbers that I could find, but since the company was founded a year ago, basically, we can really only look at the last sales numbers. December 2019 sales were 0, of course. November 2020, we see sales reported by the company in the official press release of $640,000. December 2020, months later, sales are almost doubled for more than $1 million. But again, those are numbers that are shared in the company press release and are not audited yet. Current ratio is above 1, so it has enough to cover short-term liabilities. Probably that is why in their update from January 8th, 2021, we see the issuance of new almost 2 million shares, which represent a dilution of share of around 2%. As we see it here, it is to cover mostly their cash needs. So all in all, in terms of financials, this company shows growth in sales, but still has to survive day by day and most likely will have to issue more shares in the future to cover their needs. I should say though that under the terms of agreement, Leaf Marketplace will purchase a minimum of $25 million US, approximately 33 million Canadian dollars of the company's products over a 1-year term for distribution in the United States. In addition, Leaf Marketplace will pay the company a 6% royalty on the gross revenue generated under the agreement. This is a huge boost for revenues. 3. Potential growth and market overview. They have intention to be listed on Nasdaq and it looks like they have already filed for it. So far in the United States, if you want to buy PlantX, you have to buy it on OTC market under ticker PLTXF. If PlantX is listed on Nasdaq, that will be a good sign. For now, let's see the potential growth. For this, let's look at the niche market size and the overall numbers of where the niche market is going. Indeed, the upper trend is still there. Dollar sales of plant-based foods grew 11% in the past year and 29% over the past 2 years. Comparatively, total US retail food dollar sales grew just 2% over the past year and 4% over the past 2 years. That means that the part of the plant-based food took place of the traditional foods. We see in 2017 was $3.9 billion, and in 2019 it's $5 billion. So if you look more in detail of which category of food grew the most inside of plant-based, it was milk. Milk is accounted for $2 billion. Plant-based meat comes third and still has plenty of room to grow, because the overall market that were used in calculations, it is $95 billion. Total meat market size reported by Nielsen. More graphs here. Over the past year, dollar sales in conventional milk were flat, where dollar sales in conventional yogurt and conventional eggs decreased by 1% and 10% respectively. In the same time, eggs were up 192%, where the creamy yogurt are about 30%, meat, cheese are about 18%. The data provided here is for US retail market. So I was looking for some kind of the total market size, and this is the number I found. A large and growing market. So the food marketing system, including food service and food retailing, supplied above $1.7 trillion worth of food in 2019. And from out of this amount, around half was supplied by food service facilities. We should say that this is quite a big number, and it also includes more of the food that will not be replaced by plant-based food, of course, but it's just to show how big market is. We see that interest in veganism hits all-time high in 2020 as we look at Google Trends. So here is another graph that's from Plant-Based Food Association. US retail sales of plant-based foods grew 11% in the past year, bringing the total plant-based market value to $5 billion. All food grew only 2%. Here is meat comparison again. Growth of plant-based meats with animal meats. Plant-based 18%, just normal animal meat is 2.7%. The plant-based meat category alone is worth more than $939 million, with sales up to 18% in the last year. Refrigerated meat, plant-based meat, is driving growth. It is up 63%. In comparison, sales in the conventional meat category grew just 2.7% during the same period. Plant-based meat now accounts for 2% of retail packaged meat sales. Across the board, all categories of plant-based foods show growth with the highest rates in creamers, sauce, and dips. This illustrates new opportunities for brands looking to expand their portfolio. So potential growth is huge, especially if you take current market cap, which is only around $100 million. 10x or even 100x is possible if the company proves it can be the leading one-stop shop for all plant-based needs. But we are not there yet, and it is still a highly speculative stock with high risk, in my opinion. I will say more on this at the end of this video on how I would approach the investment in the stock and why. 4. Main asset. The main strength for me in this business lies inside the marketing approach. This e-commerce does not look like an ordinary e-shop. It looks more like a plant-based information center with the option to buy what you need. First, they teach you and become experts in your eyes. Then you will end up buying everything plant-based only in this place. Let's look at their social media pages. Looks pretty professional and personal at the same time. They do not have a lot of followers yet, but again, if they continue to do this content, the audience will follow. Number 5. The big if. Red flags. The biggest asset and the biggest liability is PlantX CEO, Sean Dollinger, in my opinion. He does have a lot of experience in e-commerce, 20 years on the field, but you should know what happened with his previous company, Namaste. So Sean Dollinger left the post of CEO in Namaste right after that was discovered.
All right, some pretty dramatic developments at Namaste Technologies, a retailer of marijuana and smoking accessories like vapes. It has been under pressure for quite a while. The company announcing that it is firing its CEO and launching a strategic review. A lot of this coming on the back of short seller allegations against the company. Andrew left at Citron being one of those.
There was evidence of what it calls breaches of fiduciary duty by Sean Dollinger and evidence of self-dealing startling as well, and this concerns the 2017 sale of Namaste's U.S. subsidiary. Dollinger has been fired, and the company is taking legal action against him for what it calls damages and disgorgement. So a bit of chaos at the company. The company's been no stranger to controversy in the past. In mid-December, it was connected to a moldy marijuana controversy.
So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that prevents institutional investors from looking at the space. Prevent institutional investors from really making this a meaningful part or any part of their portfolio.
Yep. So he did a thing after which normally you would not start another public company as a founder CEO. A lot of people believe it was a pump and dump. It is up to you to make your opinion. As you see it here, Namaste went from 26 cents a share up to $3.25. So it did 12x growth in just a matter of few weeks in 2018. Today in 2021, this is back to its $0.26 a share. So it did lose more than 90% in value. Right after Sean Dollinger left Namaste, he founded Vega Technologies Corp, which is the original name of PlantX. It was renamed later on. Interesting fact that Sean Dollinger did not put Namaste in his profile as the part of his history. I see rather unknown experiences he had. What is the experience when you do not even put a name of the company, like here, online fashion platform or telecommunications company? It is also interesting to see that the current CEO, Julia Frank, before being the CEO in PlantX, she worked for almost 5 years in Park Now Group, which looks like it is in Germany, in Berlin, and she was for a long time a marketing and brand manager. And before that experience, and this was for a parking provider, okay, so it has nothing to do with CEO of a one-stop shop for plant-based internet company. I would say it's completely the opposite, but well, and just before it was a PR and marketing manager, again, not a CEO position, and being CEO, being a marketing manager, for me it's quite a bit different. But another red flag for me is that company shares in their activities opening physical shops, but mostly in small towns. Why? Why this location choice? International expansion in Israel. The population of Israel is 9 million people. I'm not sure what is behind that decision, but I see that there are still a lot of things to do in the North American market before continuing. And even if expansion is to be done, why such a small country as Israel? If you have an answer to that question, please write me in the comments down below. And of course, if Sean Dollinger, you are watching this, we would like to hear from you on that point. So please write me in the comments down below as well. Another expansion is bloombox Club. PlantX acquired bloombox in November 2020, a UK-based privately held e-commerce. bloombox Club UK will continue to operate as a wholly owned subsidiary run by its founder, Dr. Kathy Cooper. Now we saw the announcement that this club will expand to Germany. I'm wondering if this is the way to reach out more potential customers in future or simulate active behavior that drives the share price up. What do you think? I mean, a young company, 1 year old, with difficulties in finances, that is why it has definitely raised more money by issuing more shares. I would assume that there are many things to focus on in North America alone to streamline the business processes. Probably I missed something, but what is the reason for those so-called international expansions? How to deliver in those regions? Where to build storage places? How to streamline business operations in place? Taking into account pump and dump history, this all sounds a bit weird to me. What do you think, guys, about it? 6. How do I invest? So here I will talk about how do I invest in this stock. Each stock will have a different approach for me because each stock will have a different risk-reward potential as well as reward and long-term potential. But if you're an early investor in some high growth potential stock, that could facilitate, being there with lower risk. Anyway, so for this particular stock, I think that I don't have any stocks as of right now. I still thinking about whether it's still worth a try to get into it. The Pros is that it's only a bit under $100 million market cap, which is nothing really. And well, you saw that in the future, the CEO of Navaste, he did make this previous stock go up by a lot. So there are different strategies you can use. If you enter right now, basically, I think you have two opportunities. There are chances that from here it goes down and disappears are slim for me. And I think that it will grow, but again, at some point you should take profits. If you saw with Navaste, if you didn't take profits at some point, that's that. But the history, which is a good point for short traders, not for long traders, not for long-term investors, is that short term, this stock could go up to 5, probably 10x, right? But after that, I would be really cautious and probably will wait for a couple years because of the history that we saw right now. It means that taking profits, if a stock goes up by 10x and you only invested, let's say, $1,000, so you'll have a $10,000. And of course, at that point and each stage when it doubles, you can probably take off a portion of it. So when you're on top, basically on top of the wave, you will at least have your money back with profits already. And at that point, if you think that it still goes up long term, well, you have your free money that if it burns, well, you don't lose anything because you already made some profits, right? And if it goes up, well, bingo. So that's how I will approach this stock. In my opinion, it's still worth a try. Even so, all the previous and red flags, it depends on your investment strategy. Again, if I would trade this as a long-term investment only, I would not go in at all. But again, we are talking about all this in our Discord group and also in the Patreon. I share pretty much daily the information there, what I do with stocks, what are my thoughts, and the trades and trade setup, which is more important because that's how I do money actually. So I will make a separate video for this, showing that how I made 110% in 1 month, and we'll show you the results as they are coming. Don't forget to join us. See you there in Discord and in Patreon. Have a good day, investors. Bye.